Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 17 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Kim Janowski, and she has a throwback question. Kim was a big fan of Frankie last season, and she wants to know what my thoughts are on him, and also she wants to know, why do like a lot of Big Brother fans not like him? What's the deal? Well, Kim, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I was not a fan of Frankie. Why do I and many others feel this way? I can't speak for everyone, but I think the general consensus from a lot of people that don't like him is that, like, he's really full of himself and, like, what was I gonna say? He's, like, fake. Yeah, I actually met Frankie at the Big Brother 17 casting call in New York City, and I will tell you, what we saw on the show is very much how he is in real life. He might actually be worse. Yeah, but it's just like, it's too much. It's too much. I'm gonna stop there. Alright, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Alright, so yesterday they had nominations. Steve put up Austin and Liz. It was the heard around the world. That was Liz, by the way. So this is where we're at with this. Austin thinks that he is safe, so he's totally whatever. He's cool about it. As of that point, the target really was going to depend on what happened with the power of veto. They got to see who wins that. What's the deal? Are they going to have a replacement nominee? But Austin was kind of the target at that point. So the worst case scenario for Steve would be for Julia to win the power of veto, because then she can go ahead, save Liz, and then they're going to control the vote, and either Johnny Mac or Vanessa would have to be the replacement nominee. So Steve does not want Julia to win the power of veto. So after nominations, there were so many tears, mostly from Liz. I mean, she was like sobbing a lot. We saw some tears from Steve. I'm thinking a lot of that was fake, because we know that Steve fancies himself an actor. Austin, on the other hand, was calm, cool, collected. He was cool as a cucumber. He thinks that he's safe and that Julia will be the one going this week. So, couple of crying points from Liz. She was like, I was on top of the world with the HOH on Thursday, and now I'm just a cockroach on the floor. And she was saying, like, I can't believe it was Steve that did this. Like, she would expect this from Johnny Mac, but Steve. And then she was saying that they should have gotten rid of him when they had the chance. You guys did kind of blow it, I'm just saying. But anyway, Steve, after he's done fake crying, he goes up to the HOH room. He's celebrating up there alone. He's freaking giddy. He's clapping his hands like that. It was that kind of clap. Laughing, and he looks at the camera and says, suckers. He's talking about the Oz twins. But he was, you know, patting his own back there. He was like, I'm gonna go down in Big Brother history for making this move. If you say so, Steve. So Vanessa and Steve have a little chat. He's very excited about everything that's happening right now, but at the same time, he's still really nervous about the POV competition coming up. So Vanessa's trying to reassure him, because there is that chance that Julia could win and mess everything up. So Vanessa's like, well, if Julia wins the power of veto, I think that we could definitely make a deal with her so that she won't use it, and then we can just send Austin home. So Steve is like, wait a minute, there is no reason whatsoever for Julia to make that deal with us. Like, what's the incentive there? She could just use the power of veto, freaking guarantee safety for herself and her sister, and then they'd control the vote. Like, why would she make that deal to not use the power of veto? So then Vanessa's just like, well, yeah, I didn't figure that part out yet. I got some more thinking to do. Yeah, you do. So then Liz and Vanessa were chatting, and Liz gives Vanessa a little bit of information. So she's talking about how Steve was freaking out about the vote last week. And remember when he like threw up in the bathroom sink? Yeah, he was like really freaking out about it. So Liz was especially upset about Steve nominating her because before the show on Thursday, Steve pulled Julia and Liz aside and was like, I need you to promise on your family that you're not going to nominate me. No front door, no back door, blah, 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 blah. That's like the phrase of the season. But they did agree to this. So Liz is like, why would he make me promise something like that? And then he goes and freaking targets me. Like, what the F? So Vanessa's like, yeah, that's messed up. Vanessa is also pissed because Steve went and made this deal after already promising that he was going to vote out Meg. So, like, he already promised his vote, and then he was like, wait, I need a deal. So she doesn't like that. But then Liz was like, yeah, Vanessa, you should be pissed. Because she was telling her, look, if Julia wins the power veto, you're going to be going up in her place. Like, there is no way that Steve is going to put up Johnny Mac. There's no way. So, you know, Steve sucks. Basically. There was a lot of trash talk going on there from Liz. But Vanessa tells Liz, like, you need to fight like hell for that veto. She would love to see Liz come down, but she doesn't want to see Julia winning that power veto. So then it was time for twin chat. Again, a lot of blah, 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 Steve sucks. But Julia tells Liz, like, if we can make this happen, you need to throw that power veto to me. So then we'll both be safe. Because if Liz were to win the power veto, yeah, she'd be able to save herself. She'd be coming off the block. But that would mean that Julia would be going up in her spot. So, you know, it's kind of bittersweet. But anyway, it was a pretty boring night last night. There was a lot of crying from Liz. Austin kissing her, more of Liz crying. I don't know if she was crying because of the kisses or being up on the block, but yeah. So Steve took a bubble bath. The only reason this is like worth mentioning is because they have not used that tub much. What? Like, I feel like in previous seasons people were always up in that tub taking bubble baths, but not so much this season, so I felt like I should mention that. They made some turkey burgers, yay! And then everybody went to bed early. And you would think, like, oh, they go to bed early, they must be getting up early. But no! They slept in until after freaking noon! Crazy. Alright, so this morning, or like afternoon or whatever, Liz finally was able to talk to Steve. She finally felt like she was at a place where she wouldn't rip his face off if she talked to him. So Liz was telling Steve, like, yeah, I was in a really bad mood yesterday. She was telling him that she was a crying mess because Steve really pulled at her heartstrings, and he was just saying such cute things. Really? Is that why you were crying? I don't think so. You were pissed. So she was saying, like, it's hard when friends have to go after each other. She just needed to have her Audrey hospice moment, and now she's okay. Now, it's, like, funny, but, like, at the same time, like, hospice is not funny. But the Audrey blanket thing, that's funny. They could have left out the hospice thing. But then, of course, any conversation with Steve is going to end with multiple hugs. Alright, so then Steve, he's talking to himself alone in the HOH room, and he's like, Liz thinks that she's the target, but it's really Austin. Oh, snap. So then they had the power veto competition today. Everybody gets to play. There's only 6 people left, so everybody's in there. I don't know all the details on this competition yet, but I saw a couple people wearing tutus. Good stuff. The winner of this competition... Really, Sean? The winner of this competition was Austin. He was the unofficial official target. Oh my gosh. Okay, so shit was hitting the fan after this POV competition. Liz was pissed. She was freaking out. There was a huge Austin and Liz fight. Oh my god, insane. We're gonna be talking about it tomorrow because I want to like really get in there, but like the house is exploding right now. It's on fire! So it's gonna be pretty wild. So make sure you don't miss tomorrow's spoiler. I mean it, guys. Like, it's gonna be awesome. So until then, much love.